Hi guys, thanks so much for tuning in again with me today on the SHWeddings YouTube channel. I am in such a good mood today. It is almost 70 degrees outside. I'm wearing short sleeves for the first time this season. It's sunny out. I am just like wanting to spend all of my time outside today. I can't though because I do have to do some work, but I think I'm going to try to take advantage of it as much as possible. I think I'm going to take Betty for an extra long run. I think I'm going to take a walk down to my Walgreens and just pick up a few things instead of driving. So yeah, I'm just in a really good mood today. So, last night before going to bed, I was actually for some reason really craving cupcakes, and I swear that there is a point to this story. So then while I was thinking about delicious cupcakes, as I was trying to fall asleep, I started thinking about one of my brides last year who had an amazing bachelorette party thrown for her by all of her friends. And it had to do with cupcakes, and I'll explain that later on in the video. And so then I started thinking about different kinds of unique ideas for bachelorette parties. And I'm just going to go ahead and just tell you that this video is about bachelorette parties, about different ideas that you can do for brides who aren't necessarily into the bar scene, who don't want to do a typical bachelorette party. I also want to just throw this disclaimer out there as well. When it comes to weddings and celebrating weddings, I really am a whatever makes you happy kind of person. I don't judge people because you want to celebrate certain things differently. I honestly think that whatever makes you happy is perfect for me. So I am going to be talking about some of my personal opinions in this video, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if someone has a differing opinion than mine, I look down upon it by any means. I'm not that kind of person. So I just want to get that out there before people are like, maybe she's judging people in this video, which I'm not. So this idea is kind of different ideas for bachelorette parties that don't necessarily mean going to the bar, you know, wearing phallus necklaces and doing body shots off of strange people and doing like naughty scavenger hunts and stuff like that. It's because I definitely did not want that for my bachelorette party. In fact, I didn't even want a bachelorette party at all. I didn't have one, and that was because I specifically requested that I didn't have one. It just really wasn't my style. But then again, that doesn't necessarily mean that I hate all bachelorette parties. That's just for me, when I got married, it was just a choice that was more comfortable for me. So I do think, however, that it's totally fine to have a bachelorette party, of course. But for brides that don't necessarily want to do that whole bar scene, I came up with a few different ideas that I thought I'd share with you guys. Last night when I started thinking about these before I was going to bed, I actually, for some reason, couldn't sleep, and I kept putting them down in my little notes notebook that I keep on my dresser, so that way if I do have an idea, if I don't write it down, I feel like I can't fall asleep because then I will forget it when I wake up in the morning. So I have notes upon notes, and these are actually all like wedding and video ideas and stuff that I keep in here for you guys. So that way if I think of something late at night, I can just write it down really quickly and then go right back to bed. So I did write down some bachelorette party ideas that I had. Oh gosh, where are they? Hopefully I can find them. Okay, here they are. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started. The first one relates back to the cupcake story, which I was talking about. One of my brides last year was not big into the bar scene, and so her friends actually took her on an amazing bachelorette party. They rented a limo and they did a cupcake tour throughout Chicago, which I just thought was an awesome idea because one, who doesn't love cupcakes? I love cupcakes. Two, you got to be escorted around the city in a limo, which I thought was kind of very bachelorette in my opinion. So you still kind of had that aspect of a bachelorette party. And three, in a city like Chicago, there are so many different cupcake places around here, and all of them are so good. I can think of three off the top of my head that I would swear to God were my #1 favorite in Chicago. So I thought that was really good. They went around to all the different cupcake bakeries. They sampled a bunch of different cupcakes. I took pictures around places in the city. I thought it was just a really cute idea. It probably made for some awesome memories and awesome pictures for later on for that bride. And it really sounded like the bridesmaids put a lot of thought into it. They really took the bride's personality in mind. What is she gonna like? What is she not gonna like? And it was just perfect. So when she told me about that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea. And I knew that one day I wanted to share that with you guys. I just didn't really know how or when. So I thought today would be the perfect time to just kind of give you guys that idea. So, second idea that I had, let's see, oh, wine tasting. Every 4th of July weekend, Josh and I actually go up to Harbor Country in Michigan, which is like an hour and a half outside the city of Chicago, and we go wine tasting. And we always see bachelorette parties out there with limos or big SUVs with a designated driver. And we always think to ourselves, that would be such a great bachelorette party, because that way it's still not the bar scene, but you do get to drink. It's a little bit more sophisticated, but you're out in the country, taking in some beautiful scenery, which is definitely more like, if I had to have a bachelorette party, I think that'd be the way that I would want to go, is this wine tasting. I love wine tasting. I think it's so much fun, and it's just an hour and a half outside the city, so it's perfect. For those of you who are not located in Chicago, there have got to be wineries somewhere near you, whether you have to drive like 3 or 4 hours. You guys could like get a hotel room for the night, especially if you're going to be drinking all weekend. I think this is kind of feasible for most people, but I mean, if not, I do apologize, but I think it's pretty accessible for most people. But yeah, wine tasting is such a good idea. That way you guys can bond with your entire wedding. It could even be a joint kind of thing where you guys could separate for part of the day and then decide to meet up at a certain winery for the night and then party away the night there or whatever. I know that most tasting rooms close at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. You guys could always make plans to go out to a restaurant or something after that. So that is my second idea. Third idea, getting ready to cook a homemade meal together, planning to meet up at someone's house that has a decent sized apartment and or kitchen. Everyone pitches in by buying some ingredients to make a planned home cooked meal together. Get a bunch of bottles of wine, crack them open, and just kind of cook all night. This might sound boring for a lot of people, but for some people, I mean, it really isn't about the cooking. It's just about getting to spend time together, which is what the bachelorette party is really all about, is spending time with your bridesmaids right before the wedding, kind of having some just girl time together. And I thought that even if you really are bad at cooking, it would be probably even more fun, because you guys would probably make a ton of mistakes and you'd laugh about it. You could get some movies to rent for later in the night. Not necessarily a slumber party if you didn't really want to go that route, because I know that sounds really cheesy sometimes, but yeah, I mean, the more wine you drink, the more tipsy you get, the more fun cooking gets. So I thought that was also really cool. And then at the end, depending on how the experiment pans out, you guys could have a really, really amazing home-cooked meal to share together, or it could be a complete disaster and you end up ordering pizzas or something, which either way makes for a great memory. So I thought that was actually a really cute idea too, because that, if you make a really good homemade meal with different courses and stuff, it takes all night to cook. It's very labor intensive. But if you have, you know, like 4 or 5 people involved, it could get really fun and exciting. So I thought that was actually a really cute idea as well. Okay, this is also very Chicago related, so I am sorry that these are very urban. I didn't really want to just like exclude them from the list completely because they wouldn't necessarily pertain to everyone, but in Chicago there are definitely upscale hotels. The first one I can think of is the Peninsula, that has a jazz lounge type place where you can get dressed up in like cocktail attire, and they have a live jazz band. You guys could go for cocktails and drinks and dinner. I thought that was kind of a really fun night out. It's a little bit more expensive than the other 3, I think. But I mean, you guys could, like, if you guys have that money to spend, if you have bridesmaids that are pretty financially secure, you guys could spend the day at a spa, getting ready, maybe getting your hair and makeup done, and then coming home and getting dressed up, almost kind of like the prom, and then putting on some really pretty dresses, and then going out at night. It's kind of like a bar scene bachelorette party, but not necessarily. It's a little bit more classy. You guys could maybe even do like a Mad Men theme or something if you guys are all into that show. I know that I am, so I would be all over that idea. And then you guys could just listen to the really nice jazz music, enjoy some champagne maybe, make a toast to the bride, stuff like that. So I thought that was a really fun idea as well, and a little bit non-traditional. Okay, and then the last idea that I had is actually, it could be separate, it could be a joint bachelorette party idea, and this is really more for the bride or groom that is super casual, likes being outside, doesn't really like a lot of fuss made over them, stuff like that. I thought it'd be really cool to kind of throw them a surprise barbecue backyard party type thing, so that way it's still really informal, still really casual. You could even combine it with the shower, kind of like a surprise shower, surprise bachelorette party type thing. Invite everyone over at someone's house that has a nice backyard. In the city of Chicago, it's kind of hard. This is more for people who possibly live outside the city, so I'm trying to get a mixture of all different environments in here. But yeah, so I thought, you know, you guys could just, you know, barbecue up some burgers, veggie burgers if you guys are vegetarian, get some like homemade potato salad, macaroni salad, I'm thinking fruit salad, all kinds of summer different things. This is obviously a warm weather idea as well. And then invite the bride and groom over like, you know, an hour after all the food's been cooking, so it's all ready to go, and then you could yell out surprise. I'm just picturing it in my head. I love surprise parties so much. I think they're so much fun. And then you could kind of do the shower right then and there and give them their presents. And this could also be a larger gathering type event as well. And I kind of like that because usually for the rehearsal dinner and for the wedding, a lot of people that might want to make toasts decide not to volunteer or speak up and say, I do want to make a toast at your wedding or rehearsal dinner, just because there's so much going on at those two occasions. So if you have some kind of a gathering, a joint gathering before the wedding, bachelorette party or shower or what have you, a bunch of different bridesmaids and groomsmen that not necessarily would have been able to make toasts can go ahead and plan to make one at that point. You guys could have someone bring over like their flip camera or a digital recorder or whatever, make them a little video that they'll be able to keep for after the wedding as well. They could maybe add to their wedding video. Make it a really special occasion without it being over the top. Just make all, disposable plates and cups, and get a keg of beer or something like that. Just, you can keep it really affordable, really simple, but make it really fun and special and meaningful. One thing that I think is really in with weddings right now is the rustic outdoorsy campsite wedding, where you have the big bonfire at the end with s'mores and stuff like that. I know that I wish that we could have done that with our wedding, because we love going camping, well, fancy camping. I don't like to do tent camping, but if I have a cabin with electricity out in the wilderness, I'm totally fine. I know that we wanted to do that with our wedding, just because we love baking s'mores and we go on vacation together, but we couldn't do it. That's kind of the perfect time to kind of create a bonfire, grill some s'mores on it, just kind of all huddle under blankets if it's a chilly night, just share stories, talk to each other, laugh, drink, be merry. It's just, to me, sounds like the perfect way to kick off the wedding celebrations. So I hope that you guys found this video useful. That's pretty much all of my ideas that I could come up with. If you guys have any other fun and unique ideas that you'd like to share, please comment below, because I would love to hear them. If my brides are ever looking for a unique bachelor or bachelorette party idea, I'd love to be able to have a ton on my list that I can share with them, just to make sure that they know that if they don't really want to do the whole bar scene, they're still able to have a really fun bachelorette party. So yeah, that's it. I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. It is Friday here, so I'm gonna try to scoot out and get in my walks now, and then get back to work, boo. But yeah, I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you back here soon. Thanks, bye.